Would you be offended if I told you it's not your life, it's not even your kids that's making you feel overwhelmed? What if the actual reason you're unable to cope with reality has nothing to do with the people around you? What do you think, Gab?
I think I am offended.
Personally attacked?
Yes.
Do you feel overwhelmed from time to time?
Yeah, there are times, for sure.
Is it me? Am I the
Yes.
problem?
Yes, it's my eldest child.
Hello. Here I am. Welcome to the Natural Parents Podcast, where we will cover all things faith, health, family, and wealth through a biblical perspective of putting things in life that matter most back into order. We're reminded in Matthew 6:33, where Jesus said, "But seek first the kingdom of God and all of his righteousness, and all of these things will be added unto you." Join us each week as we focus on what truly matters most in this life and passing those values on to the next generation. This is the Natural Parents Podcast with Ryan and Abby Hugan.
No, I mean, I do think that life can feel overwhelming, but I think that a lot of us don't just have that level of overwhelm. It's something much, much greater than that.
That makes me think of two things. One, yes, what are the inputs? What is causing us to overwhelm? But two, are we somehow less capable of dealing with, be it, let's just call it stress, or dealing with stuff? Like us, our generation, this current generation, than our parents and our grandparents, the world's greatest generation, went to World War II.
I don't think we have the habits in place to deal with the overwhelm, right? Like overwhelm is too much input. So that's when your dryer runs and it's like, there's like jeans in it, it's like tink, tink, tink. It's like between that and the kitchen is a mess and you just stepped on a Lego, right? All of these things all at once is just like too much in. And I don't think that we have the habits today of how to decompress, right? Like think about back in the day. I mean, I make it sound like this, but it's like all they had was like knitting by the fireplace or reading a book or just all of these things that calm us. But what do we do to escape? We run to social media, right? We pull out our phones. Yeah. And then what is that? All of this input in.
We're consuming constantly.
And we go on the highs with everybody and we go on the lows with everybody.
Oh, I hate that.
We are carrying burdens of other people that were never ours to carry because Sally updated her Facebook status about...
Got on you.
Yeah, and it like gets on you. And so it's like you're decompressing with things that are only adding to your overwhelm.
It's not decompress. It's quite the opposite.
It is exactly
so we have nothing... Again, we collectively, society, us parents with young kids, we have nothing to cope. We have no mechanism, no healthy mechanism of decompressing, likely. And then at the same time, the thing that we think is our mechanism is actually burdening us even more because our minds are constantly on. They're never turned off. We think, oh, I'm just numb. I just want to scroll. I just want to be numb for a second. Yeah. But we're just constantly taking in more information and keeping that aspect of our brain on and firing. And then the kids come and they say, hey, mom, hey, dad, right? And we're like, oh, I just need a minute right now.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you've had 4.5 hours scrolling on social media. What if we had something to stand in that place? Because what I'm not saying is that we don't deserve, to use that term loosely, we don't deserve something. We should have decompress time. We should have alone time. We should have mental breaks of nothingness, really. But we're never giving ourselves those, even though we have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, because it's not just your body that needs a detox. Your mind and your spirit does as well.
It does. And not only do you deserve it, mom and dad out there, your body craves it, needs it. You are worth it. You deserve it. But your children and your environment and your spouse, your family, we all need it too, right? Like they all need it too, in the sense of we're not our best versions of ourselves if we're not getting it. You know what I'm saying? So we can't pour out of that overstimulated cup, I guess you could say.
Yeah. And like if you think about, so say you're reading a book. No, let me start with this one. Say you are on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok and you're on there, but like you're just reading something. You're reading a post somebody made about an update that you wanted to know about and your kid comes over and he needs your help. and it needs to happen right now, whatever it may be. You feel so frustrated. You feel like you're never going to be able to find that place again. You're like, just hang on a minute. Just hang on. Let me finish this. Now, put yourself in the place of you're reading a book and your kid comes and they need your help right then. You just put your bookmark in. And although it's the same thing, you're reading something, just one is on a screen and on social media and one is in a printed book. It's the same thing, but the feelings that you have with each interruption is much different. Your brain is able to handle the interruption when you're reading it on a page and you put your bookmark in, whereas the other one's like, well, it's gonna like refresh and it's gonna be gone and then I'm gonna have to search for Sally's update. Sorry if your name is Sally. I don't know why I picked that.
Come after Sally today.
No.
Do you think I think yes. Do you think they do that on purpose?
Who's they?
The powers that be behind the social media platforms.
Absolutely.
That draw us in.
I know that I have seen before. Somebody was like, well, the creators of the iPads and the phones and well, what age do your kids get them? And they're like, my kids don't get them.
I have heard that before.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to fact check it, I guess,
Yeah.
per se. But I've heard that like it was like Gates and Jobs kids never got them, right? To 15, 16 years old. There's probably a frontal lobe development standpoint where they can start to deal with it. But even then, it has to be in moderation.
Yeah.
Now kids are going to school too. This is wild. And
Yes.
on the screens all day at school. I'm not just an old-fashioned traditionalist that says it's got to be pen and paper, but the brain is more able to adapt to pen and paper. I've seen that argument that, screen time isn't inherently bad, right? It's not inherently causing harm to our children and their education. It's the quality of the time that's spent on the screen. Mm-hmm. Again, are we just gaming? Are we just scrolling? Are we just playing? The fact of learning on a screen isn't so bad if they're learning, if they're doing something, right? And so we have to contrast that. There is a steady middle ground, and I will accept the fact that advancements in technology are coming, but across the board, we, even as parents in our fully developed frontal lobes, we don't need to be spending hours on end on social media, scrolling, consuming in that concept or in that construct, because it's leading us to actually this feeling of overwhelm that we would never actually be if it wasn't there.
Right. And if you really just stop for a second and think about how overwhelmed our brains are, like truly, say you've been on your phone for a few hours, say you were just scrolling to just, check things out, get a good laugh, whatever, and 30 minutes has passed by. It doesn't feel like it should have been 30 minutes. And your brain could feel like it's on fire. Right. Now, that's an adult brain that can reason and think and regulate itself somewhat better than a child's.
Right.
Now, let that be a child who's just been on YouTube, and has just been able to just scroll and do that for the sake of the parent's sanity, right? Is why that the kid is on a screen in the first place.
And I understand that.
And yes, it's like we've all been where we just need a moment, but we have not. There's other options than giving your kid a screen just to escape that, right? And it's all the habits that we're building with our kids. So if you start early, then you're never even going to create that habit of screen time. So that's an encouragement.
It's a scary, slippery slope.
It is, for sure.
We struggle with it as is. Now, my child is developing that same pattern and that same routine at a very early age, and their brain is, for lack of a better term, hooked on that. It actually is a dopamine release. I've said that before. You seek and you find, and that's rewarding. That's exciting. It's like, even just there's a gentleman I take care of. He talks about this, like he hates Google. Like, he'll be on a road trip with some friends or something like that. And he'll say, I wonder how many people live in this town. And he's like, that's not an invitation for you to go to look it up. I just think it's fun to wonder sometimes. Like, whatever happened with that? What parts of our brains are actually wired for? And then we talked about it before about resiliency for our kids. Like, how much of that could we foster if we just allowed them to sit in boredom and wonder, right? In silence. We all need this too. I'm just talking about the kids, but we need it. If we're feeling overwhelmed, you don't need more time on your phone. I know you're probably listening to this on your phone.
But this isn't the type of content that would be overwhelming or overstimulating to your brain. And really,
especially in a designated time for it too.
Right. And when you're in that, well, let's just Google that real quick. The information that you're looking up so quick as you're having even the thoughts, you don't even retain that information. So it's useless anyway. It's like
Right.
you might as well not. But also, us parents, we model for our kids the relationship that you are to have with screens. So if your kid constantly sees you choosing the screen over them, well, 1 second, honey, I'm just looking at this, whatever it may be. It could be the president on the other end, whatever. And they don't know that because you treat it the same as if it's just another Sally's post that you're wanting to read.
Right.
But they constantly see, oh, screens are
That's
really
where I rank.
important.
Yeah.
It's okay to be, involved and addicted rather, for no better term, to my phone. And then they want that. They want to fill that time because they want to be like mom and dad.
Sure. Yeah. So much of all of our parenting is done through modeling. I love that song. It comes up sometimes like, I've been watching you, Dad.
Oh,
Oh,
that song
right.
is
It's
just
so
terrible.
painful. But there's so many different aspects of that. That's like the same thing. Been watching you, Mom. Like our children mimic and want to mimic. It's a normal part of development. And so take some time, parents. Chat about it, talk about it, write it down. What parts of us do we want our kids to mimic? Now, if our parents are listening to this, right, we always jokingly say like, oh, you can't choose your parents, right? Because there's just certain aspects of our parents that maybe in, aspect or whatever we'd like to change. But the other side of that is that you wind up doing things just the way that your parents did them. Like I
Yeah.
was standing a certain way the other day and I was like, goodness, my dad stands like this. Like, what? Like, how's that possible?
Well,
How do I stand like my dad,
all I know is that we were at our nephew's game yesterday, and the kids have been loving to spell Mississippi. And then your mom goes, M-I, crooked letter, crooked letter. And I was like, Ryan, you
I
get it
don't
from your
remember.
mom.
I guess that's where I learned it from.
I guess it is because that's the only way that Ryan will spell Mississippi.
I
And
wouldn't say the only way. It's
that's all I've
fun.
ever heard
It's
you
a
say.
fun way. Come on, y'all.
So you're just like your mama.
Back to
But
the other thing. Seriously, I saw this the other day that 7 hours of media consumption is the average adult in America.
is that like just
A
social
day.
media? Is that TV?
It's like a third of your
Episodes?
day. Media, yeah, news, so Fox News, CNN, watching the major news media outlets, consuming social media, just consuming information. The brain is 7 hours. That's more than a
lot.
work day,
More than
right?
some people sleep.
Right. That's twofold. An issue is that you're consuming 7 hours and you're only getting 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's a lot of times like you've talked about before how you're not supposed to technically be on your phone the way you wish to be during the day at
Sure,
work, right?
sure.
So then it's like your evening time comes and you're like, oh, well, now that's when I want to get, on all of these things. But really then you're cheating your family. And so, we've talked about how there's tech-free hours, but really there should only be 1 hour for tech or
Right.
really way less than that. And the time to do it is not to be with your family. And that doesn't just mean turn on a TV show. That can be one night, but also playing board games together. We love, what is it? Ticket to Ride right now.
Oh, such a great game.
I beat Ryan really well.
Once. First time ever.
It's only because he withheld the information from
I
me
didn't
each
withhold
time
it.
that we
You knew.
play of a certain trick that gets you more points, and the man always
not a
does it.
trick.
It is a trick. You never read it. You never read
the
that part of the instructions.
Extra layer of the game is to get the longest continuous train route.
So guess who won? Once you knew the
Once you knew the rules.
once you knew that.
The
So
playing field has been leveled, y'all.
it
I have to
has.
step up my game.
Watch out. Coming for your trains, your train route. But
Coming to a
I
train
think that
station
there's
near you.
like plenty of things that we could do that aren't filled with just screens, right?
Yeah. And I think, okay, something you were saying took me to, sometimes as a parent, I'll feel guilty to have like a thing. I don't really have a lot of things. Like I don't play golf right now. I do like to go hunting occasionally. It's not like it's a lot of time, but a lot of times the filter in my brain is, well, I spend all this time at work during the week. I don't want to do X, Y, and Z on the weekend. And I feel like moms and dads sometimes will battle that, right? They'll say, well, I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to do this or that. I'm telling you, your kids and your spouse would wholeheartedly prefer you, right? To have that thing as opposed to, because it's going to fill your cup up. It's going to be making time for you. We want, spouses, we want our spouse and our kids, they want their parents to be a healthier version of themselves. We'd way rather you take that 1 hour a day or whatever it is to go to the gym or to do this thing or to be filling your own cup up, just to walk outside in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Kids might not say it sometimes because all they want is you ever, our
Yeah.
kids specifically. They just want to be on mom's lap all day long, every day.
Yes.
They can never be close enough to you. But again, I think if you could give them the understanding, they would say, yes, undeniably, I would prefer mom to have something to fill her cup up than is, the false thing, which is our phone. So,
Right.
just kind of what we're talking about, the tech detox here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely. And it's just, it's just encouraging to constantly be reminded of that because it is such a slippery slope.
yeah,
And I really think that whenever we start to decrease our times on them and fill them with other things, when you want to go reach for your phone to scroll, just have a book sitting there that you just reach for. And that's what you read. And your brain, it is like a breath of fresh air. And I'm not even on social media really, but it still is. There's just so much at your fingertips with
Yep.
your phone. And something else that we like to do is that, we're thinking about something, oh my gosh, I can't forget to just do this or do that. And it's like, just write it down. Just keep a little notebook, cute little notebook. You can highlight it, make to-do lists, all the things, and just keep that. But also, we were standing in the kitchen the other day and I was like, oh, look, I got all these recipes printed out because a huge thing that I despise is looking at a recipe on my phone. Like, won't do
multiple reasons.
Yes, multiple reasons.
One, it seems like you're just on your phone.
Yes. As parents, we love finding natural ways for our family to feel their best, and that is why we chose Llama. They make genuine Baltic amber jewelry for both kids and adults, known for its soothing and grounding properties. For little ones, it's a beautiful natural option to help with teething and inflammation, and for adults, it can help ease tension and bring a sense of calm throughout the day. Each piece is handcrafted from authentic Baltic amber. It's never plastic, never imitation, just simple, natural comfort that fits your lifestyle. Check out the link in our description to shop Llama, natural comfort for the whole family. It seems like I'm on my phone. If a message or a phone call comes through, then I'm distracted. I'm doing that and I'm not present either doing whatever I'm doing or, teaching the kids or whatever that may be. And it's just my brain, it can just
Also
breathe.
The
ads. If you're looking
if you look up a blog for that post, you have to scroll.
Yes, and then it's like ad pops up, and you have to scroll back down. And so all of that, I despise it. But social media, I heard this the other day that social media also makes it fills the time that we think we don't have, that we could be learning how to bake bread, right? The big thing is that, I could never bake from scratch. I could never, bake our own bread. I just don't even have the time for that. But it's like, really, we are filling that in other ways that we may not feel.
Sure.
That we have it, but it also is because what we compare it to is the dopamine hit of social media. And so baking bread feels boring, right? Then
Until you've eaten the bread, it's delicious.
Yeah, until you eat the bread. But then it's like compared to when we're constantly getting that feedback from.
Yeah. This one's maybe harder. It made me think of something else you said a second ago. It's like, what if instead of every time we reach for our phone to pick up, to search or to find something or just scroll on TikTok or social media, we reach for like God's word, right? So there's this, what are we putting in? I feel like when we get on our phones, yes, there's just that seek and find aspect of it. But when we get on there, there's so much at least for me, I'm going to speak about myself. It's breeding ground for covetousness. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have that. So then whatever I have that might be pretty awesome and somebody else would think, you know what I'm saying? It's just breeding this, again, stealing joy. What I have is not good enough. I have to achieve and accomplish more. I never even knew I needed a new truck. My truck was just fine until I saw that one that somebody posted the new wheels that got put. Like, what, you know what I'm saying? It's not helpful. And so many people are on there for the applause of man,
Yeah.
And so we get on there and maybe we're not feeling so applauded, and that's not healthy. That's not helpful. But at the same time, if just a couple of those we picked up, and maybe the app was, I saw an app the other day. I would have to check this out, but it was when you do check your phone once an hour, it updates. What are those called? You told me what they were called.
Widgets.
A widget. There's a widget for your phone that actually goes onto your background and it gives you a new Bible verse every hour. How cool would that be?
Yeah.
Instead of just checking notifications, I do need to check the time. Most of us do have our phones for that purpose. It's like, oh, and look, there's a little piece of God's word. So now what I am actually putting in is a really good quality input that's rooted in the truth of what God would say about me or to me or want for my life and, all that stuff. So
Yeah, I agree. I really like that. And I just think that if we all are intentional about that and conscious of it, because I think a lot of the time, a lot of the things like the just seeing how many likes did this get, how many whatever, it's all subconscious. It's not an actual thought that we have thought.
yeah,
It is all just subconsciously there and then tears us down, makes us not happy, makes us feel a certain way. And so I feel like if we just start making those new habits and start looking at it differently instead of getting on there to see, oh, maybe there's one thing that will inspire me. Well, not to mention the 10 that didn't, right?
sure. You've said, we've talked about this before. It's weird, our brain pathways. You've asked me sometimes, what you thinking? I'm like, do you want me to go all the way back? And then you start replaying in your mind of how you got to the thought that you were currently having when you asked me. And that's always kind of a funny thing that we'll do. Well, sometimes it's happened where you'll see me probably on Facebook or something like that. You're like, hey, what you doing? It's like, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I came here to look for something. Or I opened my phone up to check an email, and somehow I just unconsciously wound up
on Sally's post.
scrolling Marketplace, seeing what Sally has for sale. We're still talking about Sally. But it's this weird thing that just, if you're not careful, if you're not conscious, it just happens. And so having to and enforcing, boundaries with that, because my justification on social is business stuff, I want to be able to post. But it's like, I could probably have it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I did make a post today. Okay, cool. How long did that take? It was a relevant post. It's about the Christian fair that's coming up just next week or whatever. I wanted to make a post about that.
Yeah.
And share with this awesome thing, this Christian school fair that's going on. And it didn't take me long to make that post. So there's my justification. Your phones can actually allow you to set time limits on your mobile apps, any app you want. You can guide your own access, if you will.
Yeah, and I think that's a great place to start. And we would love to hear your evening of no screens, whether that's Ticket to Ride and hopefully wives, moms, you beat your husband, make the longest train, or whatever games that those are. So we'd love to hear about your evening. From the bottom of our hearts, we want to say thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with someone you know and leave a review. By doing so, we're able to grow this community of amazing people just like you and raise a generation of children that know God and do His will on earth. We'll see you next time.
This is the Natural Parents Podcast with Ryan and Abby Hukin.